Okay guys, so I know a bunch of people out there are going to be pretty psyched over this Landmark tank and the RBA base that comes with it. So I figured I would go ahead and do a coil build for this, and we're going to do NI 200 nickel coil build. Hopefully I can get this on camera without too many headaches. Here we go guys. First, we'll go over what we need. You're definitely going to need paper towel, tissue, whatever you have to dry your fingers and stuff, because this build is a little bit messy. So here's our nickel coil with the RBA base. I'll pull the base off, and then here's the coil. Here's my current build. We're going to rip this out of here. You're going to need some NI 200 nickel wire. For this, I'm using 26 gauge tempered from Lightning Vapes. Some clippers. These will allow you to get them really close when you go to cut off the leads. Then we're going to need a number of little screwdrivers here. This is like the equivalent of a 7/64. This one's like a 3/32, and this one, I just use this to tuck the cotton in towards the end of the build. Then you're going to need a pair of scissors, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a small pair of cutters. What I'm going to do first, I'm just going to take out a piece of this nickel wire. And this is probably about a foot long. So all I do is I just take my nickel wire, make sure that your leads are going to be pretty long. You want it to be longer than your entire RBA. And then all I'm going to do with this is just loosely wrap these. I'll do the wraps and then I'll show you up close what I've done. So I've got 10 wraps here so far. This is not perfect, but we're going to fix it right now. So what I do to fix this is I just hold my screwdriver like this and just push the whole thing down, then pull it back out. Stretch my legs, and now I'm going to grab both ends of the coil, and I'm just going to pull it apart, something like that. Then I'm going to push it back down again, and I'm going to repeat that process. Okay, so this looks pretty good to me. It's not perfect or anything like that. We just don't want our wraps touching each other. We want to leave a little bit of space in there. So you want to bend this one leg down. Put your thumb over top of it and just bend it down to where it's straight with the screwdriver. Then the top lead, we're going to bend it down as well. Something about like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Put that off to the side. Now what we need is a organic Japanese cotton pad. I already cut part of this one off to make the coil that I just took apart. Now what we want to do is cut off a strip that's roughly as wide as our coil. And just kind of eyeball it. It don't have to be perfect. This is the thickness that I have. Now here's the little trick that I've been using that's working great, because this is normally pretty hard to get the cotton wrapped around the coil and make it stay. So on these organic Japanese cotton pads, there's a little thin layer, and that layer, I normally throw that layer away, but for these coils I've been using it. So I just pull that little thin layer off like that, and I want to do the same exact thing to the other side, because we're going to take this other piece and hold on to that for a second. Now this one I'm going to put down, and I'm going to take some e-juice. Right here I've got some Kiss My Vape strawberry. I got a review for this stuff coming up in the next day or two, along with a Kiss My Vape giveaway. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. So we just want to take some of this e-juice and wet that cotton strip down. And this is where the entire process gets messy. So now our cotton strip is saturated. We're going to take our coil while it's on the screwdriver, and the top leg that we bent down, we're just going to take this and slide it up underneath there. This is pretty much the same exact process I used to do for Aspire Nautilus mini coils. And it's a technique that I learned from Rip Trippers, I think it was. I got one lead hanging on the outside there, our top leg, just hanging out. We just want to hold onto this and start wrapping it. And wrap this as tight as you can get it. Okay, see how I have that wrapped? And by no means this isn't perfect. This video is just to give you an idea of how to do this. That's the basic idea. So now all we need to do is get this inserted into the coil head. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to take my screwdriver out and insert it through the opposite side. Then we're going to run these leads through the very top part of this head. The bottom is smaller, so it's more difficult to get the coil up in there with the cotton on it. Then hold on to the very top part of the coil and the screwdriver and start to twist and work this coil head over top of the coil and the cotton. And be gentle with it while you're working it down in there. So I think I'm going to stop right about there. I'm going to hold on to this entire thing. Maybe you can see what I've got there. Now I want to take my leads, and there's a couple of little grooves on the very bottom side of this. Let's see if we can get in here close to see that. See the little grooves on both sides? That's where you want your leads to go. So I'm just going to work this one right here, bend that down. I'm going to put my finger on top of it. I'll take the rubber grommet. I'm going to slide it over this lead and over top of the screwdriver and gently work it down in there. Now I'm going to pull this screwdriver out. I'm going to go ahead and bend my other lead over, and then I'm going to trap it under my finger. Now we want to take the metal pin, pop that in there, and then pull our legs down. So you see what I'm working with so far here, right? So let's pull the legs down. Just enough to where we can get our clippers in here. We're going to cut these off nice and close. Okay, so here you can see what I'm working with. See where my coil's sitting. Now all we need to do is clip these leads off. And see, these clippers allow you to get in there nice and close. Flip it around, do the other side. The 3/32 screwdriver, I'm going to run back down through the center of my coil. And the reason why I'm doing this is because this other thin layer that we cut off of the cotton pad, I'm going to cut it into little squares. And these, I don't know exactly how big they are, but I get, out of one of them cotton pads, I get like 4 of these little squares. And what I'm going to do with these is, while I have my screwdriver in here, I'm going to hold on to it, and this is going to keep it from moving my coil. And what I want to do is just set one of these up here. I'm going to work it in around the empty space on the outside of the coil. So in between the coil and the RBA, I just want to fill that space. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so here is the coil head with all them little cotton squares tucked in around the edges. See, I still have the screwdriver in there, but I just want to show you the sides here. Right here is where it's going to wick, and right here. So now this coil head is completely rebuilt. If you want, you can take the screwdriver and wiggle it a little bit just to kind of straighten that coil up as you pull it out. Here is your rebuilt Landmark RBA head, and this is ready to be installed and vaped. Okay, so now that we have our coil head built, we need to lock in our resistance. Do that by holding in the up and down buttons. And it says set resistance, then you just hit the power button. And this looks like it's at 0.1 ohm. So let's back out of here and give this a vape. So there you go, guys. That's how you rebuild the Landmark RBA base. This works great, man. If you enjoyed this build tutorial, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so now. And that's it, guys. Till next video. Take care.